If there's one thing I know for sure, this don't fit your mama's sewing machine. Hey everybody, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. I'm Eric, this is Baler Family Farm, and this right here, our number 46 International Harvest McCormick Hay Baler. These were built in the, I think, 50s and 60s and 70s. I'm going to apologize if the video is just a little bit dark because we are going to work in the shade. But unfortunately, I broke this last year while I was baling straw, specifically the twine needle. So let's do a little investigation and see what happened and see if we can fix it, because hay season is up on us, and this is kind of an important piece of that project. Got a little better light. So last year we were baling straw, and we'd baled right at 500 bales, and all of a sudden it wasn't baling. So I got off and looked, and lo and behold, this shear bolt right here was broke. Now, that is not necessarily something that's highly abnormal. That shear bolt, let's see what you guys can see there, is what manages, ooh, that looks bent, that's bad, what holds these needles in place, right? Down like so, and keeps them out of the way. So what I think happened is that shear bolt broke while these were up. And that caused a collision between the bolt, between the needle, caused a collision between the needle and the plunger, which packs the hay bales. So I think the first thing to do is try to put this bolt back in. Let's see, let's find you guys a spot to hang out here. Because it should go back further than that. And I'm not sure why it hasn't. Come back down here. Let's take these off. All right. And I don't even, I'm not sure what caused it to break. No idea at all. But that needle up there is definitely bent in a curve, which is bad. I might have another one around. I'll have to see. These plates here, if you can see, right, there's a plate in there that's welded to this bar, and that and that's kind of how you adjust your needles up in there. Thing about balers, there's always twine stuck in them. Let's get these out of here. I know a ratchet or an impact would be faster, but I'm wanting to kind of make sure of what I got going on here. You can buy needles for these, about $400 a set. See anything missing? Yeah, that's unfortunate. What's really unfortunate is this one is obviously not going to be any good. Obviously not going to be good. Which is usually the case, because if it has a collision, it doesn't normally hit just one. My real fear now is that it's damaged the plunger. We'll have to check that. I don't see anything that's broke that would have caused the collision. I don't see anything that is bent that isn't bent because of the collision with the plunger. Probably all because one $3 shear bolt decided to randomly give up, which is really unfortunate. I don't know how that thing didn't break. Holy smokes. We'll get that pulled out and we'll take a look here. It is bent. Now that, see that, I'll let it go back all the way up. Okay, that's good. Oh. A wee little difference. It's like Sesame Street. One of these things is not like the other. Okay, so we know we need another needle. I thought I had one more, and I'll just have to look for it. Okay, I did not find what are original needles. I think that these are off of my old Ford baler that I had before this one. But man, that is like super duper close. I don't see why that wouldn't work. I think we're going to put it together and see. Why not work in the shade when you can? I don't know why they double bagged that. Should have got longer ones. I can never remember which ones I need. And I buy some every year. Okay, I'm gonna move this over by hand to see if we can get a look down in there at the plunger. I'm gonna set you guys up where you can see it. All right, plunger cam. Let's say a little prayer that it's not all jacked up. I don't like that it's not moving. All right, we're gonna start the tractor and use PTO power to see if we can carefully move it. I think she was just a little stuck on the cycle there. What's the verdict? Y'all tell me anything? I don't see. I don't see damage. I don't see any damage. I need to sharpen that knife probably. I think it's all right. Stiff. Well, I think the thing to do is try those needles. Everything looks okay. It's all in one piece. I don't know why that's not coming up further. Well, let's put some needles on and see what happens. You guys got a good magnet there. I think we'll try them at least. Now these are going to have a right and a left. That goes on that side, it looks like. Like they're both for the same side. Don't know if that makes a difference. I don't think it makes a difference. We're going to go with, I hope it doesn't make a difference. think I might go get that ratchet and socket now though. Make my life more gooder. Let's see that. That's the thing that's supposed to save the needles. And I don't know why it did not do that. I don't know why. I'm disappointed in it though. I am definitely disappointed that it did not save the needles. There's one rule about making hay. You're always going to have to work on equipment. I mean, that's just, I have not done hay at any point that I haven't had to fix something just to get started even. What you guys do with that? Oh, there's that bolt. I mean, all right, I'm gonna get that ratchet. I don't know why this wouldn't work. So the premise of this being welded on is that by changing how tight these two bolts are, you can change where they stop at. Because they need to be in a certain spot. Put some oil on them bolts. They don't want to thread very good. See how that's still loose? That's not good. Rubbing a little bit. So if you don't know how a baler works, as the hay comes through this chamber, pushed through by the plunger, this little wheel right here turns and turns. And you see that arm back here coming up? When it gets so far, that trips it. And that tells it, hey, it's time to tie a bale. So what happens then is, I need to do some cleaning. The needles will come up and they will bring the twine with them. I need something to bar that over with. why. It is fighting me the whole way. See if that makes it easier. All right, so on this backstroke, that should bring the needles up. Something feels a little tight. Okay, let's take a look. So, can you see right there how that wants to hit that? That's got to miss. Same on that side. Okay, let's see if we can do some adjusting. And let's see. That is not going clear. Okay, so we know for sure those won't work. So let's just take those off and we'll be done with it. At least for that. So, you know, even with the breakdown, and I'm going to have to buy probably $400 worth of baler parts, it is still worth doing. Hay, because of the amount of hay that we ultimately will produce, you know. Toot toot. I'm going to leave this a little loose and we're going to see about getting it back up there. Let's go crank her around and you guys can watch and see if it's going to come up and come through like it's supposed to. It's going to come right there. I said that wrong. It's going to come out the other one. It's going to come out here. Okay. So we're close. See what we got going on there? We're contacting, and that's got to miss. So what I'm doing is I'm just using these bolts down here to pull that off on that bracket. Getting there. Getting there. I prefer it not be quite that extreme though. We're close. That's really close. That's going to have that almost tightened down all the way, but that's going to be right about where it needs to be. Because we're about at the height of the cycle. See there? I just need it to just barely miss. There's a million adjustments on these things. So what that would be doing right now is drawing twine up through that knife. up into this. This is the twine holder. This right here, this is the knotter. If you can see that. That ties the knot. Right? This ties the knot. That turns around, twists it in. We're pretty close to what we need. We should be about the end of that cycle. Boy, I don't know why that is tight right there. I'm okay if it rubs right here. Just barely touching. If you've been watching, you see that the knotter there is turning. This rubs on a cam in there. Something in there rusty. All right, needle is back to 0. Should be out of the chamber completely. See there, nothing's poking up to get hit. And that's pretty good. All right. Well, guess I get to spend a couple $100 to buy some parts, because welding these back together really isn't practical because they end up bent and they have to be perfectly timed or they just get smashed again, because that's how it works. I'm gonna put this away and I don't know, probably work on something else, work on finding parts and crying a little maybe. Yeah, it's kind of how it's going to be. I'll finish adjusting that when we get parts, and I'll bring you guys back for the put together and the test run. I do think that it'll probably be a week, but that's okay because we're going to be doing hay in about a week. See you soon.